Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Happy Being Well. We have an exciting guest today. She is a trauma transformation specialist, and her name is Dorcas Pittman. And so I'm really excited to talk about and dive deep with Dorcas Pittman because I talk a lot about the importance of identifying traumas, whether they be micro or macro, and how to heal from them, and so that you can stop repeating similar patterns of behavior or this feeling of being stuck or self-sabotage. And we'll dive deep with Dorcas on that. But before we do, this podcast is sponsored by happybeingwell.com, your online store for creative, high quality, affordable leggings, and all natural facial masks, all natural deodorants, crystals, essential oils, aromatherapy diffusers, natural bath soaps, and much more at happybeingwell.com. Use code podcast25 for 25% off all activewear leggings, free shipping in the USA. Subscribe to Happy Being Well's email newsletter for 10% off all items, including free shipping. So, welcome, Dorcas. I'm so excited to have you on to talk about trauma and, what your experiences of it have been, what's the importance of identifying it, some of your important tips on how to overcome trauma, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about trauma. So everyone, and it's really been a buzzword, lately. Everyone's talking about trauma these days, which is great. I think we've all universally recognized as a collective that, hey, we need to release this, so we can be mentally and emotionally healthy.
Yes, Rita, and thank you so much for having me today as a guest on your show. And yes, I am a certified trauma transformation coach or specialist, and I'm all things trauma and healing from trauma. And so, as what I do is, I really focus with women who have suffered from the effects of childhood trauma. Basically, I understand that when you go through those traumatic experiences as a child, it affects your identity. It affects how you see yourself. And oftentimes we end up wearing masks, especially in our teens, our adult life. And what I do as a coach, as a trauma transformation coach, I literally help you remove the mask I give you, through exercises, tools, and strategies. Our voice is a powerful tool and trauma silences us. And so I help my clients to reclaim their voice and understand that their pain has purpose. We no longer want to look at our pain from a place of negativity, of how it hurt me, but really look at it from a place of growth. Um, how did it condition me to help other people? I ran across this saying a long time ago. One day, my story will be somebody else's survival guide, and so I help my clients to look at their trauma from a place of it prepared me for my purpose. It prepared me, it strengthened me, it conditioned me to help other people who've gone through similar circumstances or similar traumatic experiences heal and move forward. And so I'm excited about the conversation today.
Me too. So, what would be your tips for, like, first of all, like, I know a lot of people are, you know, haven't even identified some of their micro traumas. So, what would you suggest people do to identify those like traumas that they haven't identified yet?
The thing about it is, I know with me, I had macro trauma. My trauma was molestation and rape and abandonment. But one thing I do understand that we can't glimpse over the small things. And so really understanding ourselves. Right now I'm doing a series on Clubhouse called What Does Trauma Look Like? And one of the primary things that people don't pay attention to is chronic illness. And so even with micro trauma, even those small things, our bodies are conditioned to tell us when something is wrong. So not ignoring the physical changes in your body. We always pay attention to the mental, the mood swings and all of those things, but really paying attention to how our body is reacting to certain situations and just taking time to evaluate that. We allow life to get away from us. We go through life, we're lifing and we have our, I'm just gonna push through it. I'm just gonna push through it. But taking the time daily and evaluating those experiences. And if something happens and it kind of affected your mood or it, caused you to feel a certain way, sit down and just evaluate it because that may be that one thing that if you don't address it, it could affect you in so many other areas of your life. I look at micro trauma as a kind of like a paper cut. It
Mhm.
is so small, but that thing hurts so bad. Like, literally, a paper cut is the worst. And so, it's small, but it's there. And if every time we touch it or we put some hand sanitizer on, we wash our hands, we know it's there. So don't ignore when those small instances or those small things shift your mood or change your perspective about you. And pay attention to your body. Stress and all of those trauma causes stress. It shows up in so many different areas, but our bodies are designed to tell us when we need to pay attention to what's going on around us.
Mhm. Awesome, I love that. It's so, so true. We really just need to, like, increase our self-awareness, and just it really lies in just self-observation, just, like, being a witness to your own life and your day-to-day, like, how is your body reacting to this? What is it doing? What's your heart rate doing? Yeah, I talk about that a lot, and that's one of the things I, started to practice years ago, was just starting to tune in to, like, what my body, just to be better acquainted with what my body's doing, just to kind of know the true essence of Rita. Or if I'm watching a movie, what's my body doing? Is my heart going rate faster? Is my muscles tense? So it's a good practice to get into. Just and being the observer of your life, the witness of your life, how you're showing up in meetings, like, kind of like seeing yourself as a third person. And yeah, that's where the magic lies. You really have to kind of tap into the truth and essence of who you are. So, and this, therefore, it just, who doesn't want to know themselves better? And then you're better able to make better decisions for yourself. You're not going to allow anybody to convince you otherwise. You need to tap into and harness your own truth, and then you become unstoppable. Um, Okay. So typically, when is it that someone calls you? Is it because are they noticing patterns of self-sabotage, and then they've had enough, and then they're like, okay, that's it. I'm gonna just call someone that, especially like deals with trauma. What's the motive for typically of people reaching out to you? Like, what's that thing for them that makes it like, okay, I need to deal with this?
All of my clients so far, they're at that point in their lives where they know there's more. Like they are aware that they've endured trauma, and most of it is, childhood trauma and, early adult trauma, but they're at this point in their lives where they know there's more. They don't want to live the life that they've been living. It's it has affected them in so many ways. They just know that they want more out of life. And understanding that everything that has happened to them is has affected where they are, whether it's mentally, emotionally, spiritually. My coaching is very faith-based, and so they're in tune with the fact that they know that God has more for them. And my transparency as well, because oftentimes people don't want to talk about things. They're afraid of the judgment. And everyone who has worked with me, everyone who follows me, they know I'm a very transparent person. Not only about the things that have happened to me, but the things that I've done, the decisions that I've made. And so that transparency and no, and telling my story and just letting them know that I know where you are. I know you want more. I know you're tired of dealing with the effects of the emotional, the physical, the psychological effects of trauma, and you just want to deal with it once and for all. You're tired of running from it, and you just want to really live the life that you were destined to live. You're tired of pretending that everything is okay when it really isn't. And uh, knowing that you can tell your story and not be controlled by the shame of it all, and understand that it condition you for what you're meant to do in this life. And so that's when they come to me knowing that they're tired. They are
Hmm.
tired of living and surviving and just going through day to days. It's a vicious cycle, a vicious cycle. They want to be free. They want to not be burdened by all of the heaviness from everything that's happened to them, and just really put in the work, because it is a lot of hard work and heart work. Um, my clients, they have to feel. There's the healing is in the feeling. When we go through trauma, we oftentimes suppress our emotions. We don't allow ourselves to feel because it's so painful. But when you allow yourself to feel and experience those emotions, either that you didn't feel comfortable feeling, or that you didn't have a safe place to feel or express it, once you do that and you're on the other side of that, you realize how heavy it was. And there's a sense of freedom. And so, working with me, it's not, I was like, there are going to be days where you don't like me, because I'm not going to push you, but I'm going to push you. You want this, and I'm not going to allow you to put a wall up. You're going to get through this. You're going to put in the work, because I know what it's like to be where you are, but I also know what it's like to be where you want to go. And now I'm on the other side of that trauma. And so um they're tired. They want
Hmm.
more. They want more.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, and I really love your energy. You have a very calm essence to you. So you obviously done the work. And I'm assuming is that why you became a trauma or a trauma, I want to say recovery, trauma transformation coach?
Yes, just a little bit about my story. I grew up, I'm in Alabama, and probably from the accent, very rural area, one of the poorest counties I know in the state, but probably in the nation. But I was molested twice, and my mom, she left me with my grandparents at the age of 2, not because she didn't want me, she just wanted a better life for herself. She went to Detroit, and most people from the South, they went to the Motor City, they got a job, and so there was a lot of abandonment issues that I had. My mom got married. I'm the only child that her and my dad have together. So she got married. She had, my sister, my 2 brothers. She had them with her. So there was a lot of abandonment um, trauma. And, growing up where everyone had their parent, their mom or whoever, cousins teasing me, that's why your mom doesn't want you. So there was a lot of identity issues as well. I didn't know who I was. I really looked at myself as damaged goods, because if my mom don't want me, who will want me? And so I just went throughout life just doing whatever, just surviving. I didn't know who I was, so whoever I needed to be, at that time, I was that person. I was the people pleaser. I felt as if I had to accomplish things in order to show my worth, because I felt as if I was worthless. Fast forward, went off to college. I was sexually assaulted in college. And because of um, being exposed to sexual acts and things at an early age, and the molestation and then rape, and my addiction of choice was pornography. That was my drug of choice. Where other people go to intravenous drugs and all of those things, that was my drug. That was the way that I dealt with my stress and my emotions and everything. But fast forward, got married, all those things. Still hadn't dealt with this trauma from my childhood. My husband didn't even know about it, and had babies. After the birth of my son in 2018, I started dealing with anxiety. And after that came the postpartum depression. And it was undiagnosed. And in March of 2019, I literally was going to kill myself. I was in my car with my 9mm in my hand. My husband and I, we have firearms. We would go to the shooting range as for dates or whatever. So I knew how to, handle the gun. But that day I was like, I'm done. I'm tired. I'm tired. My kids were playing in the yard. Um, but I'm here. It didn't happen. God intervened. And in May of 2019, I checked myself into the mental hospital because that week of, I was afraid to leave, get out of bed. I was afraid I was going to hurt myself. I was just that terrified. So depression had really taken over. Checked myself into the hospital. That's where the postpartum depression was diagnosed. I started seeing my therapist and my psychiatrist. And it was at that point I realized how much the unresolved childhood trauma had affected me. But it was I would say, the postpartum depression that really brought that to light. And so I started my healing journey. I wrote my first book, Breaking the Silence: Christianity and Mental Illness. It's basically a story of how God used 33 years of pain to push me into my purpose. And ever since then, I have been on this healing journey. And, I was like, I really need to help other women break their silence, because it's in breaking that silence and healing from that trauma that we really know how powerful and how unstoppable, how amazing we are. And it's freeing. It is beyond freeing. And so I became a certified coach. I, released my book. I started coaching clients, and I started my podcast, The Woman Behind the Brand, which focused on female entrepreneurs who it gives them a platform to share their stories. We're all alike in so many ways, and that platform is designed to spread hope. There's so many women who feel as if their past disqualified them, but this platform lets you know that your past actually qualified you for your purpose. And so um, I have female entrepreneurs from, full-time entrepreneurs, 9 to 5 entrepreneurs, just telling their stories and really allowing the viewers to get to know the essence of who they are. Because when you connect with someone on a more intimate level, it draws you closer to them, and you're more prone to want to work with them or do business with them. And so, yes, my journey will be somebody else's survival guide, and it has been, and it continues to be.
Oh, it's so beautiful. So beautiful. I can tell it's very, that you genuinely love the work that you're doing. It really, I can feel that. That's awesome. That's so awesome that you're there and you're now doing the work to help others heal. That's so beautiful. Do you have like a website, a blog, free PDF, any freebies for the audience to go and learn more about you?
Yes, my website is dorcaspittman.com. On there, you will find everything about me. Right now I have this free mini video series. It's entitled Journey to Healing. It is a step-by-step guide to starting your healing journey, because so many people want to heal, but they don't know how. They don't know
Mm.
where to start. And so it's a video series. It's short videos, because we're all busy. No one has time to sit down and read. So you can listen to it while you do, go about your day. They're short. And also I offer a free 15-minute consultation every Wednesday and Tuesday. I have those days open on my calendar, and you can sign up for a free consultation. And so like I said, my video podcast, The Woman Behind the Brand, we are wrapping up. We have one more episode. We have 2 more episodes of season 1, and then we'll start season 2 in November. But that is, you can get access to that on my website as well, dorcaspittman.com.
Oh, I love that. You can just go on her website and get the free mini video training series on how to heal and access her podcast. What's your podcast called again?
It's called Woman Behind the Brand.
Women Behind the Brand. Cool. Awesome. So I'm assuming it's focusing on trauma.
It's not focusing on trauma, it's focusing on the story of the woman who's building her business. And so some of these women, they have, gone through traumatic experiences, they've healed from trauma, but um, it's all about allowing your story to be told,
Mhm,
because it's in those testimonies, it's in our stories that people understand that we're more alike than we are different. And
mhm.
if you can get through the things that you've gone through, I can too. And um I can reach for my dreams. I can dream. I can accomplish my dreams. I can use my past and allow it to be the catalyst for me dreaming big and really starting my business or whatever it may be. So it's all about telling your story and providing hope to those who feel as if they don't have hope or their dreams can't come true.
Awesome. I love that. So, guys, go to dorcaspittman.com and register for her free healing video series. Check out her podcast, Women Behind the Brand, all on her website. The website link will be in the podcast show notes, so you can easily click on it if it's a clickable link, depending upon what platform you're listening into, or copy and paste it and put it into your web browser. Thank you so much, Dorcas, for, being on the pod today. I loved everything that you said, and I so love that you're doing this work to help other women. And everybody else, you know, live happy being well. Until next time, guys.